Now we're going to review a trace in joint vibration analysis that has vibrations in addition to tooth contact. When we look at the trace itself, we can see that as the green line goes down, this is the patient opening and closing, opening and closing. Actually, this is a drawing of the metronome going down and up over time, but in joint vibration analysis by itself, by having the patient open and close in time with the metronome or the animation, they are opening and closing in time with this green line. So we know this patient was opening and closing. What we see, if we blow this trace up full size, is the patient opens and we see a click here in the left and a click here in the right. Then the patient comes fully open, it begins to close, and as the patient closes we see a click in the left and a smaller click here in the right. Notice when this patient gets all the way closed, we see a vibration both in the right and in the left. That's the patient's tooth contact. When you're recording joint vibration analysis by itself without the jaw tracker, you want the patient to close fully and bring their teeth together just so the recorder can hear it. Just like that. They don't have to smash their teeth together, but you do want a nice strong tap so that you'll see it. What the clinician should do when reviewing these traces is first of all check for tooth contact. Make sure that above and below each one of these peaks here in the green line we see solid tooth contact. That's what lets us know this is an opening vibration, this is a closing vibration, because we know that this patient was closed here and here. Now, what we're going to do is zoom this trace so that we get our review mode. And again, we have our sweep view here in the upper left-hand corner, our summary view in the upper right-hand corner, the zoomed view in the lower left, superimposed vibrations, and the XY screen. Now, in the sweep view, we have our vertical cursor, and if we click on it, I'm clicking with my left mouse button, and then drag with the mouse, we can move this cursor anywhere we want in the trace, right and left, and you'll see that wherever this vertical cursor is blown up down here in the zoomed view. And that's the way that we go through and select the vibrations that we want to analyze. A faster way to do this is to move the cursor all the way to the left to the beginning of the trace and to use the Find the Vibration button. When we click on Find the Vibration, the computer jumps automatically to the first significant vibration. Clicking it a second time jumps to the next significant vibration, in this case a closing vibration on the left-hand side. When we click on it a third time, it jumps to tooth contact, and we can see the tooth contact vibration here in the right and here in the left. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to use Find the Vibration to find this opening joint vibration and mark it. Hitting the green X marks the window and gives you your numeric measurements of the vibration event in the upper right hand corner. It also draws the vibration or the zoom view in this superimposed vibrations window. I'm going to use Find the Vibration again. Now I'm not going to mark this vibration because it's a closing vibration. You don't want to mix separate events. You don't want to mark an opening and a closing vibration at the same time. You want to analyze each event separately. So I'm going to ignore this for now and move on. I'm also going to skip tooth contact, but I am going to analyze this opening vibration as well. So I hit the green X and mark it. Now you'll notice that I have a vertical marked window number 1 and vertical marked window number 2. Number 1 is in magenta, number 2 is in green. These are the numbers here for window 1, the numbers for window 2, and average is the average of the two of them together. The other thing that you'll notice is that in superimposed vibration, both zoom views are printed over each other. So we can blow this up and get an idea of how repeatable this waveform is. You can see that in this left joint vibration trace here, the vibration line goes positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative, right in line first event and second event. So we see that this is a very repeatable vibration. While on the right side they don't overlap quite as perfectly, they both go negative first, right here, and then positive here and here. So we see that there's some strong similarities between the right vibrations and the left vibrations. I'm going to go through and find one more opening vibration and mark it. Now, window 3, if I blow up the summary, is listed right here. Here's my average, my sweep view, my zoomed view, superimposed, and the XY. The way that this XY or velocity circle works is this is a velocity trace of the moving of the mandible up and down. And everywhere that we mark a vibration, a little colored dot is placed. So we can see that this vibration is occurring at about 44.7 millimeters on the opening side. If we want to look at the frequency spectrum of the vibration, this is often used by clinicians to determine if this is a low frequency vibration or a high frequency vibration, you simply hit the FFT button for the frequency spectrum. And this blows up the left joint and right joint frequency spectrums for the vibrations that we've marked. This vertical axis here is amplitude, and the bottom axis in both graphs is frequency, 0 to about 500 Hertz. You'll notice that if I click on the title bar for frequency spectrum, I can drag it and move it. My zoomed view and superimposed are still below the FFT. They haven't closed, they haven't gone away, they're just below it. And we can either move this out of the way if we want, or we can simply click on the X and close it out and look at the rest of the displays. One of the newer features of joint vibration analysis is the wavelet transform, which is a variation of frequency spectrum, but also takes into account not just amplitude and frequency, but also time. So now we're looking at the left and right frequency spectrums over, this is amplitude here, this is frequency here, and this graph here is time. So we can see how that FFT develops over time. One of the other features in joint vibration analysis, and actually in the entire BioPack now, is the ability to change the vertical scale or magnification. Because the BioPack is a gainless system, we record all of the data that occurs, and then we can manipulate it, blowing it up or down for visualization purposes without actually changing our numbers. So what we can do is, if there is a vibration, for example, this tooth contact here, that's rather small, we can click on this vertical scale button, and instead of 0 amplification or 1x, we can blow it up 5 times. And now we can see that vibration much more clearly. Lastly, when you mark 2 vibrations or more, you have the narrative button. And what the narrative does is, by clicking on it, it provides a basic text description of the vibration both on the left and on the right. Now, this is a very basic text document, and what you're able to do is to actually click inside here and type in your own comments. You can type in as little or as much as you'd like, and when you print your JVA trace, this JVA narrative can be printed with it. You could put your diagnosis in here, you could put patient notes in here. The one thing to remember is that the narrative, being a very basic text field, does not save or store this information. So if you want to put this into a hard copy or save this as a file somewhere, what you need to do is to highlight the entire paragraph. All I did was click here, hold my mouse button down, and drag through the entire paragraph. You then right-click and cut. Then what you can do is go into another program, whatever word processing program you have, for example Microsoft Word, and you can paste that narrative into a letter to a patient or a letter to a... And all you do is you simply click in your Word document, right-click, and paste it. And it'll put that in. Then when you save this in Microsoft Word, then you'll have a copy of this report. While we're on the topic of Microsoft Word, lastly, what I'm going to cover is the ability to take images from the BioPack and to place them into your Word documents. What you're able to do is you can take any individual window from the BioPack, for example the zoomed view, highlight it, and by holding down the Control key and pressing Insert, what it will do is it will cut the image from this window, and you're able to then go into your Word document and paste that image into your letter. Once you've done that, you're able to simply click on it and change the size of the image. There are also features in Word and how to change the formatting of this so you can space it around or move it around a little bit more easily. Now what I'm going to do is show you one other trick. If you want to take the entire screen, what you do is you simply hit the print screen button on your keyboard, and that saves the entire image of the screen as an image. Then go into your Word document, right click and paste, and it will put the image from the entire BioPack screen into your letter. Now, this can be very helpful when you're sending out reports or letters to your patients, referring clinicians, etc.